Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I will be sharing with you the easiest way to clean plate sky. Here's a case study. I've got a jet. It's not a footage, it's just an image that I found on the internet. So it's a one framer. And the task here is to prepare a clean plate of the sky, basically just paint out the jet. So the first instinct would be to, drop in a rotopaint node, use something like a clone tool, and start clean plating like this. There's nothing wrong with that. It looks good here, but the moment I gamma down, you can start to see all the untidy work that went into the making of this clean plate. I can clearly and easily see my strokes, and this is just not the most cleanest way to do it. How can we deal with something like this? I'm going to show you how I will approach this scenario. So this was the not so clean way of doing it, and what I like to do is actually use constants, and I'm going to explain how this can be useful. So I'm going to use two constants, constant 1 and constant 2. I'm going to name this as left sky, and the second constant as right sky. The first constant, I'm going to pick the color and maybe choose this part of the sky. And for the second constant, I'm going to choose and pick up this color from the sky. So we got constant 1 for left and constant 2 for right. Notice how there's a little bit of a color difference. Perfect. Now there's one more thing I want you to pay attention to, and that is the channels. This only has red, green, and blue. It's missing the alpha channel. To bring the alpha channel in, I'm just going to set this to RGBA and change the alpha from 0 to 1. That was for constant 2, excuse me. I'm going to do the same thing for constant 1. Set this to RGBA and set this to 1. Now we have the alpha channel, and you can see it right here. Perfect. Once I've got both the constants ready, what I'm going to do now is essentially just merge them. But here's the fun part. I'm going to merge them using a ramp. I'm going to hook up the mask input to the ramp node. So I only want the left sky to be visible on point 1. I want the right sky to be visible on point B. If you take a look at the ramp node, essentially it's just it's working in the alpha channel. So we are creating this ramp. Wherever you see white is what's gonna come through, and wherever it is black, nothing's gonna come through. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So left sky is merging over right sky based on the ramp. To illustrate this better, what I'm gonna do is maybe make a duplicate. I'm just gonna ignore that for a second. And this one, let's make it pure red, or maybe this color. That's fine. What happens now is this will make things more clear. Now you can see the pink constant is being merged over the blue constant based on the ramp, and the ramp gives me this freedom to kind of just play around and control wherever I want the constant to be visible and where I want the other constant to be visible. Awesome. I hope that's clear now. And similarly, I'm just going to swap it out with the older constant that we created. Once I have this, once we have this ready, we kind of got the base of the clean plate right. What I'm going to do at this point is essentially just merge this on our jet like this. So now we're merging the clean plate on the entire image, which is not exactly what I want. I only want it to be covering the jet, not the rest of the sky. To deal with that, I'm just gonna roto out the jet. Just do a quick garbage mat. I can also do a luminance key if I like, but I think I'm just gonna continue with the garbage mat. It's a little bit more quick. Got it. Awesome. Now I'm just gonna use a merge node and set it to the mask operation. This way I'm just masking the clean plate. And here, if I like to blur the edges, since it's a little bit too crunchy for my liking, I can start cranking up the blur amount and get this nice softened edge. Perfect. Just gonna make some room here. Now, essentially what we're doing is we just masked the sky, and this is going to be merged over our jet. So you'll see that we are starting to get somewhere. The edges blend nicely in this part of the sky. It works pretty well over here. Not very happy with this part of the edge, as it should be a little bit darker to kind of match with this part of the sky. And same case over here. This is a little bit too dark. So let's see how we can deal with that. What I'm going to do is drop in a grade node, and I'm just going to color correct to kind of get this edge blend in better. I want you to just pay attention here and ignore all the rest. So I'm going to zoom in here, go to the red channel. Inside the gain property, I'm just going to make it a little bit brighter to kind of get this edge matching. Cool, I think that's close. The green channel, I think I can go darker. No, let's go a bit brighter. Cool. The blue channel can be a tiny bit brighter. Okay. So now if I go back to RGB, you can start to see that we are blending this better without the grade and with the grade. The only problem that this is causing is that the grade is now screwing up the rest of the clean plate, but it works perfectly fine over here. So to deal with that, I can use something like a roto node and, you know, just mask it so it's only visible here. Or I can use a ramp node. I will go with the ramp node. I'm just gonna copy the older one and paste it here like this. Now with the 1 and 0, I'm gonna place 1 over here because that's where I want the grade node to work. 0 to where I do not want the grade node to work. So I'm just gonna take some time to get this working right. Cool, that looks better. And without the grade node and with the grade node, you can see it's helping a lot. Let's do something similar for this edge over here. I'm gonna drop in another grade node. I'll go to the red channel. As you can see, we need to go a tiny bit darker over here. Okay, in the green channel, I have to go darker again to match. Okay, in the blue channel, same thing. Let's go darker. Awesome. Once we got this working right, I can again just mask it with the ramp node so we only work in this region and not the rest of the clean plate. So I'm gonna put 0.1 over here, 0.0 somewhere here. Cool. So I'm just gonna put them there, and without the grade nodes, you can see we were not matching, but now we're definitely getting closer. And that looks better. If I like, I can add another additional grade node just to kind of work in this area to be a little bit more dark, but I think I'm just gonna drop in a grade node and play in the red channels. Let's take a look at the green, and that can be a bit darker. Awesome. And the blue channel, definitely darker. Cool. Once we got that, this time I'm gonna use a roto node instead of a ramp, since we have that choice. Cool. But there's a sharp edge, so I'm gonna just feather this out. And there you go. That looks better. I can increase this blur to soften the edge a bit more, but then make sure we don't blur it too much, otherwise we'll have to go bigger on the roto, and that looks a lot better. So now if we take a look at the jet, and then I take a look at the clean plate we created, and I use something like a wipe operation to just demonstrate this, you can see that looks a lot better. And remember, we are on gamma 0.12. If I go back to the default gamma, that just looks so much seamless. I'm happy with how it's looking. I'm just gonna do one quick thing. Again, if I gamma down, you can see the one thing that I'm not very happy with is the is if you pay attention here, you see a lot of grain, but our clean plate is just so clean and there's not a lot of this information that we have here. To bring that, what I can do is use something like a grain node and just get that noise working right. So in the red channel, I'm gonna maybe make the size a little bit bigger, but go down on the intensity. Now you will see that we're starting to get somewhere. Awesome. In the green channel, we can definitely go bigger on the grain, but reduce the intensity quite a lot. Maybe scale down on the size just a tiny bit. Reduce the intensity. Awesome. In the blue channel, let's go bigger. And let's reduce the intensity. I think we can go bigger, more. Cool. I think we're matching perfectly now. That looks so much better. So if I go back to RGB, you'll see that now if I wipe again, we are not only clean plating, we are also bringing back all the noise and compression, and that just looks so much more seamless on gamma 0.12. Go back to the default gamma. That is perfect. And that is the easiest way to create a clean plate for Sky inside Nuke. I hope you find this video helpful. In case you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below and I will get back to you. Thanks so much.